Today, our topic is on humility. So, humility is a big topic. It's defined by many ways. A lot of people can define it in a way that they perceive things. So, how can you really define humility? Well, who do we call humble? Do we call the people humble because of what they do? As in, if they give up a seat for you in a train, are they humble? Or maybe it's just good timing that they actually had to leave off to get off the train in the next stop. So is that humility? So it's a question of what sort of thought or perception is behind an action when you can understand what humility is. So sometimes what we expect people to do, they don't do it. So do we think that they are not humble? We cannot define humility in that way, because what happens is that we sometimes put people in a box and we have set expectations from them. And sometimes they are in a different type of box where they're unable to actually address that type of expectation at that point. Maybe they used to be able to, but now they're moved on in a certain level in their life. So it could be actually something that's good that has happened. So that expectation that we had, that we think that this person will never do this for me, and all of a sudden they do something for me, then I appreciate and I see that change. And then I think, wow, this person has become more humble or has become more aware of their existence. What we're defining as humble or as being, a person who has that humility is an attitude. It's absolutely to do with everything. It's not the action that occurred, but it is the attitude on what has happened and what they have done for us. For example, when a maid or a helper gives up their seat anyway for you, or they have to clean a certain thing, it's considered an ordinary act. It's kind of expected. But after all, if you were the maid and you would want to keep your job, maybe you think that, well, I must give my seat for my boss, even though at that situation or place they don't really have to. But when an owner or a host of a royal person gives up their chair for you, then do you consider that humble? You might consider it more humble than the maid, although the maid has been giving their seat all the time up for you, because they have their inner self-respect and they have the respect for you as a person. So they may not need to, they don't have to, but the fact is that they did. And it is that change that makes the winning happen, or that respect and love from others occur. So to conquer, humility is not all about actions. It is an attitude. In fact, it is all to do with our state of mind. It's about being open to other people's opinions and ideas. It's about listening, and not just hearing, but actually listening to what they're saying. It's about being in the present moment to see how and what I can do for me to actually help, not just with myself, but the other person. So it's about giving regard to others in a very subtle way. It's not like pushy and obvious. It's actually very subtle and very soft. And it's not to go through life unconsciously, because most of the time we do things out of routine and we go through life unconsciously. We just get on with things. But actually, when we put ourselves in that present moment, we're thinking and we're knowing on what is happening now. And then we are also available to hear and see ourselves making a mistake. So if we made a mistake right now, are we humble enough to correct ourselves? to recognize that mistake and say, oh, yeah, okay, I made that mistake, but not put ourselves down. Because the minute you put yourself down, because you've made a mistake, then that is, that's going to cause a battle within the mind between the ego and your true self. You don't want that battle, because that just pushes away that humility. So the spiritual language of humility is all about being egoless. As we drop the labels of our body, our roles, how we're supposed to be, so the performance or the acts that we create, and all those details of body consciousness, we automatically, when we drop that, we become egoless, which means we become humble, which means we become aware of our present moment, and we become aware of our innate qualities which are within the soul. When we know and have that self-respect that I am love, I am peace, I am happiness, that actually strengthens your self-respect. And when your self-respect is strengthened, even if you made a mistake or if the other person made a mistake, then there's forgiveness straight away in the heart rather than criticizing. There is a change in the behavior, and that's where humility stems from. So one doesn't have to have ego of anything, because someone who has humility is simply in a state of self-respect. When we come from a place of inner self-respect, that love and full acceptance, then we are not perfect and the other person's not perfect, and we are trying to get there, and we're doing our best and we're willing to do better, then there is nothing to lose, because we feel secure within ourselves. And it is from this place that humility grows. By contrast, someone who is insecure will not be in their self-respect and will be using tools of maybe body consciousness, of especially the ego, to prop themselves up. So they overemphasize certain things, or they have to have certain things in certain ways, of emphasis on what is happening, of how other people are perceiving them. And that's more important than how they perceive themselves. And then that's losing your own self-respect. So humility is an act of acceptance. It's about accepting yourself truly, but not just accepting yourself. It's about accepting other people. Accepting other people, how they are as they are. For what they are doing is exactly what they are supposed to be doing. They're also playing their roles. They're also part of this world drama. So humility is not about having a hierarchy of egos or playing the game better, who's the best person in playing the game. It's not about that. A humble person has no need to play these games anymore. Humility is actually the foundation of all virtues. Truly humble people are able to offer the kindness as a gift, to others and to themselves, because they see and they accept their own strengths and limitations without being defensive or judgmental. There's a wise sage who said, if you are in a dark room, don't beat the darkness with a stick. Rather, turn on the light. In other words, just gently and patiently replace a negative thought or action with a positive one. And over time, we may not even recognize the person we once were, or the person who we thought had so much ego, because we recognize and we see each other in our true selves as the being, that soul beyond that consciousness of the body. Another way that humility is strengthened is through gratitude. When you are thankful for whatever you have, in many ways, it will help your humility to grow. So saying thank you means we recognize the gifts that has come upon us into our lives, and as a result we acknowledge the value of other people as well. So don't forget of this hidden, very quiet virtue of humility, which empowers the soul. There is no loss in humility. Once you have that humility, there is no loss or gain. It's only a state of being in power for the soul. So keep that steadiness, that stableness of that self-respect, that inner soul respect, really, which is based on true knowledge and experience of the self, not as the body, but as pure soul consciousness. So with that thought, let us do our meditation. So sit back, relax, get comfortable. Take a deep breath in and out. As I pull away, from the day, I go within, feeling relaxed. I dive deep into the ocean of my mind. I recognize I am a being of light. The energy that charges this body to function. I, this enlightened light, a beautiful star, I'm filled with many qualities. Qualities such as honesty, I know my truth. A glow of light shines in the depth of this ocean. notice I am love. This is a quality I can use when I confront any issue, yet detached from this bodily part that I play with others. I look at others and I appreciate. I begin to accept. I appreciate another's point of view. Even though we may have different views, I let go of any conceit, false, or any artificial form that may come to darken my shine. I see a difference, but I don't hold onto any criticism. Neither do I make any personal comments. Instead, I look at their virtues. I look at their beautiful qualities. I look at their zeal and enthusiasm. And I notice their true form. I don't interfere with another's role. In fact, when I see them, I understand. And empathize. And I realize they are like me. They need space. They need room to grow. They need others to appreciate their effort. I am not swayed by people's opinions. When I hold my position, my belief, when I am not afraid to share it, and then to let it go. I think on what is true and what is real. And I hold that close to my heart. And I use that in my life. Everyone has something to offer. Just as I focus and I see their specialities. Always. As I care, they care. As I share, they share. We are all in this together. And we are all learning. We are all doing our best. And we are perfect. I know this humility. I recognize it. It's a quality that I have. It's the foundation of all the virtues. It is my true self. This light that I am. And with this, I decide to go through life with the virtue of humility.